I'm going to introduce themselves so that you know who will interview you this morning. I'll start on my far left.
Good morning. My name is Maurice Kimuli. I'm a member of the panel.
Good morning, Irene. My name is Dr. Hafiz Abdallah, member of the panel.
Good morning, Irene. My name is Gideon Solonka, a member of this panel.
Good morning, Madam Irene. I'm Reverend Father Joseph Mutie, a member of the panel.
Good morning. I'm Aworia Choka, Vice Chair of the panel.
Good morning, Irene. I'm Elizabeth Mayer, member of the panel.
Good morning. And I'm Elizabeth Muli. I'm the chair of the panel. Welcome once again. I'm going to request, Irene, that you respond to our questions in a precise manner because this is a timed interview, and that will also allow us to be able to get as much information as we can from you. If you should need to get clarification from any member of the panel, don't hesitate to ask them. So we'll proceed to start. I'll start us off by asking you to take a few minutes to tell us a little bit about yourself and to share with us some highlights of your career that demonstrate that you're the most suitable candidate to be a member of the IEBC.
Thank you, Chair. My names are Irene Kaino. A mother of two boys who are now adults. I am the CEO and co-founder of Ecoplan Management Limited. It's a physical planning and environmental consultancy firm that was started in 2005. I am a practicing physical planner and an environmental assessor with 27 years experience, a significant portion of that being in public service. Madam Chair, allow me to start my career at A levels. I went to the Highlands Girls School in Eldoret, which I successfully completed in 1984. I then proceeded to the University of Nairobi to undertake a bachelor's degree in geography and sociology, which I completed in 1989. I was lucky to receive a scholarship from the government to undertake a master's degree in urban and regional planning at the University of Nairobi, which I completed in 1993. I successfully undertook a master's in business administration from the University, United States International University, that's USIU, and which I completed in 2011. I have been engaging in online schooling as well as workshops and also professional courses to ensure that I upskill myself. My professional career spans from serving in a board at the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission, as well as a member of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. I've also served in public sector at the National Cereals and Produce Board, the Ministry of Lands, and Kenya Power and Lighting Company as a planner. I would like to emphasize the skills that I bring to this panel. As if you look at the boundary delimitation, it's provided within the law. And it's a mandate also for the commission. As a geographer, I understand geographical features, what they are, what will determine in terms of creating a boundary. Also, as a sociologist, the issues of social and communal ties of a community are easy to me in terms of interpretation. For example, having a community that has similar communal ties, I think as a commissioner would ensure that we take care of not separating those kind of communities. Those kind of communities are, for example, the small ones, maybe the Njems or the Ogeps. So as we are doing the boundary exercise, those are some of the things we take back in our mind. Of course, as a member of the commission, I would ensure that there is a policy. I'm not very sure if there's a policy on boundaries delimitation. I didn't see one, apart from the law, which precisely states the formula, the intervals, and the variation. Added to that, my skills in GIS as a planner, I would want to use them in terms of, for example, the geodatabase that exists. I know they have one. Trying to ensure that we continuously update it, especially as we are going to the next review in June 2024. Using GIS, it's a software that creates maps, manipulates maps, and also provides a storage. I work for the county governments in terms of developing spatial plans. We create or establish GIS labs for the counties. So in this respect, trying to ensure that all the database, the shape files are well stored, I would recommend that they have a GIS lab. Going further in terms of GIS, drawing, if for example, IEBC is planning to conduct an election, the GIS can actually draw a map of the violence or hotspots. In that respect, you're able to plan. You're not able to waste resources. You're able to then, and it is illustrative. On a map, you're seeing it visually. So you're able to actually deploy security and not waste too much money in terms of sending or even locating polling stations. I would see that being used quite well in terms of efficiency and also reducing too much wastage of time and resources. My career at Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission exposed me to the governance space where roles and responsibilities of members and secretariat and the vetting, because I was also involved in the vetting, also instrumental in developing of the vetting tool that we are using today. The governance space exposed me in terms of the enactment of laws, of course engaging with stakeholders within the governance space. I would also say that partnering or collaborations with other agencies in terms of vetting, for example, the HELP, Commission of Education, the Commission of Education Authority, and ESC, the police, all those are agencies that we can actually establish a collaborative partnership to ensure that we streamline the vetting process. Also, in that same sense, I don't know if they have a policy on vetting, so that I would be able to come in and provide that. Another avenue in terms of the corporate space is to partner with ESC on conducting a system audit. They actually give that service for free. The system audit kind of identifies gaps and loopholes within the systems of the organization and ensure that you actually seal the loopholes. So this is very good in terms of actually minimizing the incidences of risk for the commission. And as a planner and a sociologist, my work entails working within the built environment. And if you look at the aspect of public participation, and also if you derive it also from Article 10, the need to engage the people. So it comes easy to me in terms of conducting a stakeholder engagement plan, or even mapping of the stakeholders, the key stakeholders. Who are they? What is their role? Are they directly interested in the process of the commission? And ensuring that you engage with stakeholders builds confidence and trust. And to me, if you engage with the stakeholders, you're actually creating awareness, you're actually letting them know how the IEBC operates. Because sometimes when you don't talk, or when you do things behind the scene without being open in an open, transparent manner, people kind of feel that you're hiding something, and probably you're not really hiding anything. In that summary, Madam Chair, I would like to say that my skills, my experiences, my abilities confirm that I'll add value to this commission. And given a chance, my skills, my best strength would be in the delimitation exercise, the stakeholder engagement, and of course the vetting. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Irene. Are you a registered voter?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I voted in Kilimani Primary School, the Great North constituency.
Oh, great. Thank you. I'll now request Mr. Morris Kimuli to ask you a few questions.
Thank you very much, Chair. Irene.
Yes.
From your biodata and your CV, you indicated that you work with the ESCC.
Yes, I did.
And you said that you started the commission. What did you mean by that?
When we were appointed, the Leadership and Integrity Act required that we transit the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission to the new ESCC. Basically, we didn't have a secretariat in the actual sense. So we had to develop quickly a vetting tool, an interview tool, which we also interrogated to the first stakeholders, which was the AG's office and the LSK. The act was precise in the sense that if anybody was found not fit, we terminated. So after going all through that process, we managed to create directorates and a structure.
But when you came into the commission, you found people working already. It was a transition.
Yes, it was a transition.
So there were people working.
Yes.
They were dealing with corruption.
Yes.
And therefore, you found some level of structures existing.
Yes.
So it is not entirely correct to say that it is you who set it up. True?
I think it's no and yes, because as I had said, we found a structure and we used the staff to actually develop the tool.
You built on an existing substratum.
Yes, we did.
Now,
As guided by the law.
This is an independent commission. Do you know under what provisions of the Constitution ESCC was established?
Under Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Yes.
Now,
And also, I think, and also the independent, in Chapter 6 it says they will be a body that will be established according to the laws that will handle anti-corruption, and of course should be also put in place as independent bodies in the Chapter 15 commissions.
okay. Now, ESCC is a major stakeholder in the electoral process. You understand that?
Yes.
What is the entry point, or what is the point of intervention for ESCC in the electoral process?
The mandate of IEBC is one of the main major mandate is to conduct and supervise elections and referenda.
I'm asking, yes, go on.
So I was getting
Yes.
it from the broader picture. And one of the mandates of IEBC also is to register candidates. So to me, the role ESCC here plays is to ensure the vetting of the candidates is that it's not the only agency that does the vetting. So ESCC also plugs in terms of the vetting of the candidates. And of course, there's that tool that candidates sign, and of course, they have to answer questions of moral and ethical questions and also they have to have a commission assigned to it. So meaning you're actually writing things that are not false.
Do you believe, seated there, that there are ethical irregularities that are widespread in our electoral process? Do you believe?
I do believe in the implementation. Maybe you could explain that question.
In the campaign period, or what happens during our elections. Do you believe that there are ethical irregularities?
Of course, they are. I do believe.
Do you think that ESCC, and particularly the time you are there, has done enough to make it very costly for people to engage in these ethical irregularities?
If you look at the vetting tool, I think ESCC, what can I use, cannot really enforce it. It's a matter of collecting that data and put it in the database and probably run against the cases if anybody has a case. So in terms of enforcing that tool, it's a bit difficult for ESCC.
So are you saying that in electoral matters, in terms of dealing with ethical irregularities, ESCC as a commission is a toothless bulldog?
I wouldn't say that. I think if I came in, those are some of the collaborative partnerships you can have. Remember, I also said that we need also to have collaborations in the vetting of, because I don't think there's a policy in terms of the various agencies that are doing vetting.
I have not even come to the Electoral Commission. I'm talking about the time you were a member of ESCC, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission.
Yes.
You were the vice chair.
Yes.
And at some point in time, you acted as a chair.
Yes.
Now, did you originate any policy on these areas of collaboration to ensure that we do away with this vice that has been so prevalent and recurrent?
Yes, because in terms of the policies that we set, even if you look at the education awareness, the creative of awareness, because we would actually have forums where we engage political aspirants, especially even the women. How are they finding it difficult to engage in politics? So to me, I go back in terms of ESCC puts policies, tries to create awareness. And also the most, I think, the most...
Just allow me, because I get that point. You say that it's very difficult for ESCC to enforce. That's why I'm asking whether you did anything to make sure that ESCC was not a toothless mongrel backing at a bulldog.
No, I think I need to clarify this. It is only on the vetting tool. It's only on the vetting tool where the law was reformed to reduce some of those strengthening of that act. But in the event of carrying out the mandate of investigation, I mean, for corruption, I don't think it's a toothless bull.
Now, you said in your CV that one of the credits you take is that when you are at that commission, you assisted in recovery of 4 billion shillings and, a number of parcels of land that had been stolen. Is that so?
Yes, maybe the amount, maybe not. I don't know. I can't confirm the amount, but
You've gotten it from your records?
Yes, according to my records. What we did is to...
I just want to confirm, is that so?
I am not very sure because I don't...
You're not very sure?
Yeah,
Let me ask you the other question then. There is the Asset Recovery Agency.
Yes.
Do you know about it?
Yes.
What does it do?
It's I think at our time it was transferred to the AG's docket and in collaboration with ESCC. So its mandate is to come up with avenues, either mediation. So when we were there, we felt that if we use court processes, they take too long. We incur a lot of money in terms of our budget.
But you agree that that agency has done a lot of work in recovering stolen assets?
Yes.
You agree?
Yes.
Now, quickly, so that we can finish, you know that under Article 83 of the Constitution, you can be barred from registering as a voter if you have been convicted of an offense in the preceding 5 years. Do you know that?
As a voter or as a...
As a voter. I'm quoting the Constitution. Are you aware?
Repeat the question.
You can be barred from registering as a voter if you have been convicted of an electoral offense within the preceding 5 years. Are you aware?
No, I was not aware of that.
Well, that is the Constitution.
Yeah.
And effectively then, you cannot run because for you to run, you must be registered as a voter.
Yes.
Now, I just want to ask you, you are a member of the ESCC. How did you live?
Our resignation. Or
how did you live?
From me, according to me, I was guided by the Constitution and the law. A body needs to have public confidence, and by the time we were leaving, the public confidence had been eroded. So I decided personally that since the public confidence had been eroded, I resigned. And based on that, I was also guided by a research by J. Patrick Dobell on the ethics of resignation. Basically, resignation...
So you resigned?
I haven't finished.
You resigned? We don't have a lot of time. Don't talk about we. Okay. You resigned.
I resigned, yes.
You tendered your resignation.
I tendered my resignation.
Now, at the time you tendered your resignation, Parliament had already tried you. There had been a petition for your removal. Parliament had tried you. Parliament had recommended to the President for the appointment of a tribunal to remove you. And then you resigned at that stage.
I think that's why I was trying to explain. There was behind-the-scene collaborative memorandum between the commissioners and the government to resign.
No, I'm looking. Yeah. So I'm looking at a report of Parliament dated 22nd April 2015, and it says there are grounds for removal from office of the following members of the Commission: Mr. Mumo Matemu, Irene Keino, that's you, and recommends to the President that His Excellency may appoint a tribunal under Article 251 so for your removal. And then immediately after that recommendation was sent, you resigned. That's a true set of facts.
Yeah,
leave alone what other agreements were done.
Yeah,
the Parliament found that there were ethical justifications for your removal, and you did not wait to meet the tribunal. Is that a correct statement?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's a correct statement.
Was there a recommendation for your removal from Parliament?
There was a petition in Parliament.
Was there a recommendation for your removal from Parliament?
I don't know how the law is. There was a petition that had gone to a tribunal. And to me, my understanding in terms of the law is the removal was not exercised. Article 251 was not exercised.
Let us not go for the semantics, Madam. Did you appear before Parliament?
We did appear before Parliament.
Did Parliament make a determination on the questions raised before Parliament regarding your suitability to hold office as a commissioner?
I can't,
This is personal. You wouldn't say that you don't know this.
No, I know that. They made recommendations to His Excellency.
For a tribunal to be appointed?
Yes.
And it is at that stage that you then resigned?
And it is at that stage that we had a collaborative...
I'm talking about you.
Yes.
You tendered your resignation after the recommendation went. Now, you having worked with ESCC and now having the background that even when you are charged and you're convicted of an electoral offense, you can be barred from registering as a voter. Do you think somebody who has been removed from one commission for ethical considerations is suitable to join another commission?
I think I'll take you...
I'm asking at the level of, as somebody who has fought corruption.
Yes.
Do you think somebody who has been removed from one commission for ethical irregularities and ethical failures can join? It's just your opinion. It is not binding on us.
I think my opinion is all avenues have to be exhausted, all appeals, and for all fairness. Yeah, for all fairness, because
that's okay. Did you challenge the decision by Parliament to find you ethically unsuitable?
No.
Okay, the last question is this. You filled your application, and paragraph 21 of the application form required you to indicate whether you have been dismissed or otherwise removed from any employment or any board, trusteeship, or any other engagement, and you are to say yes or no and provide details. You said no. You didn't think that a recommendation by Parliament for your removal is constructive dismissal from office? You didn't think it was?
I sought guidance from the legal minds, and to them they advised that unless a removal had been done until the conclusion, then it does not tie into the removal. You are a lawyer, so you need to help.
That's all right. Let me tell you, I'll not even revert to the law. Let me tell you what we do in my village. If you want to eat a chicken and it is sick and it is kicking, it's about to die, we say, chinja kabla ijakufa. So that you cut the throat and you eat. And then you go to sleep saying, you know, I'm not like those ones who ate a dead one. I didn't eat a dead one, but I was just about to die. So sometimes as lawyers, we tell people, just resign before they sack you. So that at the practical level, you can say, I wasn't removed. Thank you very much, and all the best. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Kimuli. I'll request Dr. F.S. Abdallah to ask you a few questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Irene Chipto, I would like to have a little conversation, right? So,
Yes.
From your CV, it's quite impressive. You're an MBA in strategic management, of course, mediation, arbitrator, analytics, problem-solving skills, a skilled operation manager, and so on. And of course, in the selecting panel of NCA. Madam, you pride yourself for establishing the ESC, which of course we heard it, and you worked as the acting chairman stroke vice chair person, I don't know whether it is for the whole term, during which the settlement of over 1,000 corruption cases was done and Kenya 4 billion was recovered. Please confirm to this panel if you are acting chairperson, vice chairperson for how long?
Thank you, Dr. Abdallah. I was acting for 1 year before the chairman joined us after 1 year. And then for the remainder of the term, I was the vice chairperson.
Okay, you know, it'll be nice in future that you specify this, because in your CV you said acted chairman, acted, and your period is 2012, 2015. It can easily be interpreted as you acted as a chair for 4 years.
Okay, no.
All right? With your experience, please advise this panel as to the type of commissioners we should be looking for. As I'm sure you've been hearing, you've been reading on the various things which of course pointed fingers to IEBC in their ways of procurement, especially the ballot papers and, you know, the election material.
I'm not sure I'm getting your answer. Is it, is it the character of the commissioners?
Yes, the current IEBC. What could you do, or what should we do as a panel here to identify a person qualified enough?
The person qualified enough should be independent. Impartiality is very important in the whole management of elections. Of course, one who respects the rule of law, and of course, I would now go back to Chapter 6 to help me define the characteristics of a good person. That would be...
that we know, Irene, thank you, that we know the Chapter 6 of what that person would be, because it's a written document.
Okay.
I want to pick on your
my mind.
Your experience.
On my experience. knowing the body IEBC is more or less volatile like ESCC in terms of the high public interest from the public and the political class. So it should be somebody who is resilient, somebody who is able to make quick judgment, somebody who is able to give leadership, somebody who is a team player, and of course, what I was trying to say is not take the other commissions as lower than, we are all equal. So that impartiality in the kind of person that you're trying to look for, and of course, somebody who is willing to learn, because every day we learn new things. And knowing the commission secretariat relationship, somebody who understands the role, the corporate governance structure, what determines the smooth running of those two separate entities. So
Irene, do you feel, or are you confident you have those qualities, especially the team player? Because at the moment you hear the Secretariat and IBC, those issues in the paper, I'm sure you know about it.
Yes.
Do you have that quality and leadership quality as a team player to call for the job?
Thank you, Dr. Abdallah. I'm privileged to having worked in ESCC in terms of the exposure between the two functions of the chief executive and the commission. Also, experience builds up the knowledge, and I think I am confident in terms of that role.
Well, then maybe I need to bring you to the parliamentary debates of 21st April 2015, page number 15, which says the commissioners have accused the Secretariat, which has in turn accused the commissioners. I go down. He said, this will be no effect on the Commission in terms of the work that it is doing, but what we found is that the wrangling, the infighting and lack of guidance was in fact impeding the fight against corruption. Having these commissioners is what will collapse the fight against corruption. These commissioners have to leave for the Commission to do its work properly. We found that based on all that evidence, it was important that the House resolve that a tribunal be set up to look at these matters that affect both the chairperson and the vice chairperson, Ms. Irene Keno. What do you have to say about this?
I think differences of opinions occur, and sometimes they are healthy in an institution, but not taking them to the other side, like 360 degrees. We also need to take cognizance of the fact, the turnover rate for either the chief executives and the commission in that commission. I don't know what you want me to say, but I think...
No, well, I didn't want you to say anything. I'm just reminding you of what the Parliament talked about.
Vis-a-vis
your
what I've said.
abilities to be a team player and to be a leader.
Okay.
Right? And from that time, of course, I may have not followed in the court of case. I just wanted to remind you of this. If you had those abilities, this would not be coming. It's very clear what had happened. Anyway, let's go to the next one. You are part, and to start with, I'm not generalizing anything or pointing the fingers to individual. I had asked you what type of a commissioner you think this panel should be looking for. Of course, everybody has got, one says you need a religious leader, one says you need to be a lawyer and all that, and I don't think that this can only be a $6 billion man, those series. However, you are part of the team which selected the commissioners in 2011. Of course, whilst I'm not directing any personal blame to you, at that time, the way we're doing it now, we found some qualities in all these people. But the same team, you were part in selecting that IBC team which was there, and then it was scandalized on the chicken scandal and the ballot papers and all that. How do you feel that at that time, your opinion, yes, these are the right people, but we are human beings, and anything can happen? But I just wanted to hear it, not that you're a horse, but I want to hear it from a horse's mouth. Because we're here sitting as a commission. We are going to choose the people to the best of our knowledge and abilities. But we don't know the people we choose today will be scandalized or will be not what we expected. It has happened to you.
Yeah.
Please tell us what you feel.
I think when I look at our selection panel to what this selection panel is doing, there are a number of things that would have probably brought in. But of course, that was almost 8 years, even I can't remember. 8 years, yeah.
10.
Yeah, so in terms of, we were coming from the platform of an institution that had very low perception as we were trying to recruit them. So we felt that bringing in transparency in terms of the whole interviewing process, in terms of having it in public, in terms of requesting public participation, we thought that will help in terms of weeding out people who are not okay to be shortlisted. But to me, I would say that once the panel does its job objectively and independently, so what then happens at the commission is not that it's not tied to you, it's tied to you in a way. But what I'm trying to say is the people coming into the commission need to also follow some, like for example, the code of conduct, abide by it. So both of us might feel bad because if the team goes in and does something, you will feel bad. But that is life, and you take it positively. At least you did your part in terms of selecting a team that was competent.
Thank you, Irene. I hear that. My last one. In your career profile, you stated you offered services to IFC and the World Bank Group for Waste to Energy W+E project through Kengen for Nairobi County. Please enlighten us, our educators, where is this project situated? And what does it do? I'm seeing a lot of heaps of garbage lying around. They're not converting it. I just happened to meet General Badi. Maybe he would like to know where this project is.
We are, thank you, Dr. Abdallah. We are at the initial stage of carrying out an environmental social due diligence on 6 sites in Nairobi. Nairobi County didn't have the capacity to take on the loan, so they transferred it to Kengen in that respect. So we competitively tendered and won as my firm, and that is what we are doing. So the final site that they choose is the one that IFC will fund.
So you're saying for 6 years you've been doing this?
No. This is very current.
Yeah,
this is very current.
Thank you very much, and all the best, Irene.
Okay,
thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Abdallah. I'll now request Mr. Gideon Solonka to ask a few questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, Madam Keno, in 2017 election, IEBC made some steps towards facilitating Kenyans to vote, Kenyans in the diaspora to vote. Kindly name 4 countries where Kenyans voted, in the diaspora voted.
The East African community, that is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Around I don't know the 4th one.
So you.
Yeah, I know it was the East African country. They were trying it out to see the logistics, the preparations, and all that.
Okay. So outside East Africa? Can't remember?
I can't remember.
Okay. Now, you've just been appointed as a commissioner of IEBC and Kenyans in the diaspora have invited you to give them a talk on their rights to vote. Kindly address them and tell them these rights, their rights to vote.
Like a speech or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Assure them that their rights are anchored under the Constitution and the Elections Act and other laws.
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. This is Irene representing the Commission. I've come here with our voter registration person who is going to tell you in detail. For me, it's to open this panel. And of course, just to remind you that for any Kenyan who needs to vote, first you need to be a Kenyan citizen. You need to have been registered and as a voter, and I think you need to have of good sound mind. So we want you to participate in this election, and we also want you to exercise your rights. The essential elements for any election management body is to ensure that we provide the freedom that anybody should exercise their political rights. Of course, noting also that we take great concern on the disabled people.
Thank you. Now, you're still there. What are the procedures for registration of voters outside Kenya? You may need to share to that audience. What are the procedures?
I'm not so sure, but I would say the same procedures are the same that are in Kenya. The voter registration officer has to be there to verify that you have an ID in terms of you're also a Kenyan citizen, and of course at the point of registering, they have to verify that that ID is there is no duplication within the system, and if that is all okay, then you are allowed to vote and you're given a complimentary slip. I should assume the same happens in the diaspora.
So, like, where will they go for that exercise?
There is a nominated returning officer who sits at the national tallying place, and I think that is the person that goes now to the embassies out abroad.
An officer who sits at the tallying?
I think I'm confusing. And it's because the docket is under the voter registration officer, so it should be him who does that mandate outside with the help of the embassies abroad, outside Kenya.
So, who do you think IEBC will use for that exercise? You're talking of people like, for example, Kenyans in the USA, Kenyans in Uganda. So, who is this person that IEBC will use to do that exercise?
I think, if I recollect, it's the IBC appoints the secretary in each of those missions, of course, trained, and that is the person also who has the mandate to register the voters.
Okay. And what are some of the challenges faced by Kenyans in the diaspora on voting outside Kenya?
I would think probably, I'm not so very sure if IEBC, in terms of communicate the right information in terms of reaching out to them and also sensitizing them. I am not very sure about that, but those are some of the issues that would occur if I look at it in terms of, do they communicate at the right time? Do they know the database of all those people who are living outside Kenya? And that now brings in the aspect of, do they have a full database of everybody registered outside Kenya?
Okay, thank you. And which elections will a Kenyan in the diaspora participate?
Only in the presidential election.
Only the presidential election?
Yes.
There's no other election?
The vote is to the president.
No other election?
No.
Can they participate in a referendum?
The referendum, of course, will go so the vote to the president.
It has to be the vote to the president, a referendum.
It also depends what is the referendum about. Is it about the term of the president? Is it about...
So supposing it is not on any issue to do with the presidential term?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my last question would be, who is eligible to stand as an independent candidate in an election?
Somebody who meets the education requirements and meets also the Chapter 6 moral and ethical issues. Somebody who's registered as a voter, and of course somebody who's represented as nominated by, no, not as an independent, not nominated by any party. And of course, if it is an MP, has to have 1,000 votes, registered voters in his support. Or if it is a Senate, it's 2,000. And if it's an MCA, it's 500 votes.
So, supposing somebody is a registered member of a political party and resigns from that party, how long will he stand as an independent candidate?
I'm not aware of that.
You're not aware? Thank you.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best.
Asante.
Thank you, Mr. Solomka. I'll now request Madam Elizabeth Mayo to ask her questions.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Thank you, Irene. Irene, I want to refer to the parliamentary debates dated 22nd April 2015, page 17. You don't have the document, page 17, paragraph 3. The main issue raised is, I want to read verbatim, the biggest problem ruining this country is corruption. Even the insecurity that we have root in corruption. To fight corruption. So if you are appointed as a commissioner in IEBC, one of the challenges which has been identified is the challenge of the culture. You've worked with EACC, you know how corruption works in this country. So what do you think can be done to cure this problem of expectation of handouts anywhere a politician goes?
Thank you, Ms. Mayo. As a member, the first thing I think is to build up educational materials to sensitize, of course, the public, that even if you take the handouts, the influence of you getting in a leader who is not competent is very high. So that sensitization should go out in terms of also to everybody in the community. Then on the side of the political aspirants, of course, there's a code of conduct that they have to subscribe to. And then right now the chairman has said they're going to use the Campaign Finance Act in terms of ensuring the spend limit and also just the public disclosure of their expenditure of political parties as well as the candidates. As a commissioner, I would recommend to have monitoring committees that can monitor what the political aspirants are doing, and who is found should face some should face some action so that it doesn't influence the others. But the most important thing is sensitization of the public, and also building stakeholder engagement, because the commission won't be everywhere, because if you bring in now the church, the faith-based, you bring in the media to do media monitoring of those campaign activities, I'm sure this will be reduced.
Okay, thank you. My next question is on transmission of results during election. So during the transmission of the results, where there are heightened tensions, people are always tense. Mm-hmm. If you are commissioner at the IEBC and you note that several media houses are actually transmitting wrong results, inaccurate results, which actually is being shared with the electorate and it's causing chaos, what will you do?
Mm-hmm.
What steps will you take to address the situation?
And the results the transmitting of the results information is emanating from IEBC or from the media?
It is the media actually. Of course, the media is getting from IEBC because the media is not doing the counting. So the wrong results are everywhere in the social media. So what will you do?
I think quickly the commission should swing in action and just call for a meeting to review the activities of the whole transmission, especially the voting and election ends and starts at the polling station. So for the results, now it's at the tallying station. So to me, it's you call for a meeting and then try to quickly address the areas where the wrong results are coming in. If it is at the constituency tallying office, if it is at the county tallying office, is it at... So you need to actually map up where it's coming from for you to start to see how to address it. And then, of course, you need to effectively communicate. Of course, the buck stops with the commission. You cannot go and say it's the secretariat. No, you need that public face. So to me, we would handle it in, first of all, identifying where the pockets of irregularities are and quickly see how to address and try to see that it doesn't spoil the whole election process. Because that tension, the high perception can actually lead into violence, can lead into so many other things. The springboard is quite large.
So in your view as a commissioner, what do you think can be the cause of this irregularity?
Through my reading, I realized that polling stations, the total number of polling stations are 40,883. And the total management of elections is quite high. It's slightly under 2,000. The process of elections in Kenya is partially, the technology use is partially. And even if you look at that technology use, it's different components. And there are some components that are manual. So to me, the error or the margin of error is quite high. You would expect some error. The management of under 2,000 election numbers is quite high to be managed within a day. That's what I can think of.
Okay, thank you, Irene. Okay, what other roles do you think the media plays in an electoral process other than just reporting?
One role I can see partnering with the media, the commission and the media would be, of course, to actually present the correct picture. And I think also the media needs also to be trained to understand, because if there's no sensitization or training of the media, then they would report things that they don't understand. So in terms of if you sensitize and train somebody, then they actually understand the role of IEBC, and they are able to communicate properly and appropriately. The other role would be media monitoring. I'm not so sure if media houses are able to actually monitor the 40,883 polling stations. I don't know if that is done. That's a subject for discussion. And you see, the moment they report up correctly, and the commission also builds that stakeholder engagement, then the trust, whatever the media will do, the public are able to trust. The problem with our elections is the mistrust. There's a lot of mistrust. People don't know what the IEBC is doing. I think that open door policy, the transparency, and also ensuring, as I had spoken earlier, the mapping out of the media. So once you have the media as your stakeholder, you need to find out what is their role in the whole process. What is their impact? What is their influence? And what avenues can we engage the media? So to me, you need to sit down as a commission to see how to engage the media, and as a result, build confidence in the commission.
Okay, thank you, Irene. You've talked of mistrust and confidence. These are two critical words you have used. So you are not coming out to tell me what you will do such that you ensure that the media is actually reporting accurate information about what is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think one thing that comes to my mind is to have a session with the media and find out what is the problem in terms of the way they relay the information. And then when you go now to the public in terms of the mistrust, to me, elections are managed through a process. So it would be prudent to sensitize the key stakeholders who are the political parties, the aspirants, and the candidates, be it independent and non-independent. If there is a document that IEBC has, it's called the Electoral Results Transmission Framework. This report actually guides how you do the activities at a polling station. From the polling station, it's counting. From the tallying station, it's to tally to tally, and then to collect the information, and then of course announce and declaration. So the mistrust is built in that the process is not credible. So if you sit down and sensitize the key, first of all, I would address the key people who are partaking in this election is the aspirants, the political parties, and of course the stakeholders around them. So if they understood that process, they are able to understand what each process means. For example, if it is in the tallying, it is actually to put aggregates. If you now go to collect the collation tallying activity, it is to now aggregate and put all the votes together. So if they understood that and you took them through what each activity is, I think you will be able to build the trust. And another thing also I would probably recommend is if political parties or the candidates actually put in agents in all these polling stations. The moment the results are read out, the polling agents now, the agents are able to certify, verify, and if there are any disputes, so you can easily sort out some of those problems before they escalate to the National Tallying Center. The mistrust is built when you're not open, and the mistrust is built that the commission thinks that they can do things without really sensitizing people. it's an open process. It's supposed to be an independent body. If you look at the constitution, the independent, it's supposed to carry out the exercise transparently. So to me, if you train, sensitize, appoint agents, that should help in curtailing some of the mistrust.
Okay, thank you, Irene. Okay, Irene, the next question is on state capture and political interference. These two are challenges which have been identified in many developing countries of matters of elections. So, as a member of the IEBC, if you are appointed, kindly explain how you would promote the independence of the Commission.
The working of the Commission is cut out in terms of its mandate. It's to conduct and supervise elections. And if you now go to the essential elements of an electoral body, it's also cut out in terms of the impartiality, the independence. And then we are also now tied down to the Chapter 15 commissions where the independence is also brought in. So as a member of the commission assigned to the code of conduct and enforcing it, so one needs to know that yes, there is a likelihood of that, but when you ensure that your independence is your true independence, and of course the guiding principle is the rule of the law. So you now go back to what the law provides.
Okay, thank you. Please list 2 constitutional commissions that IEBC must work closely with for effective election management. 2 only.
I would list the National Police Service, and for the education qualifications, I would list the Commission of University Education.
Okay, thank you. Please tell us the role of each in an electoral process.
For the National Police, it would be to provide security. Remember, for the 40,833, there are always 2 police service prescribed for the protection of electoral materials and all that. So in total, you would have actually 80,000 policemen just protecting and ensuring the security in each polling station. So their role is to ensure that there is peace, of course, and if there is violence, they can quickly come in to cool it down. For the Commission on Education, it's the vetting. In terms of the vetting, the qualifications of MPs, this would come in terms of certifying that they have the right papers. It also comes in the help that even if they took a loan, they've paid it up. So it's relevant in the area of vetting.
Okay, thank you. During my last question, during the 2017 general election, the National Tallying Center was at the Bomas of Kenya, I'm right?
Mm-hmm.
What stakeholders should you expect to be at the National Tallying Center?
Come again?
We have a National Tallying Center set up at Bomas of Kenya.
Yes.
Who would you expect the stakeholders to be present there? Do you think everybody should be there?
No.
Okay.
There are accredited observers. There's the media, there's the security, there's the IEBC staff. Those are the ones I can remember.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, what roles do they play?
I said IEBC. For the observers, we have both international and domestic observers who come in and are accredited by IEBC. And of course, in the mandate of IEBC is to facilitate their accreditation to come in. They watch from the side to see the processes and the full conclusion of the processes going as per the law or the policy that has been set. So for them is basically to observe, and to at the final end of the election they come up with a report. For the media, it's to relay the information to the public. Basically, that's what I would say. Then, of course, the IEBC staff, the ones that are there would be the returning officer and, of course, the commissioners in terms of declaring the results. And there is also a process, it's called the result path process. So the officers manning all those desks, I think, will also be part of that list.
Okay, thank you, Irene. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll request the Vice Chair to ask his questions now.
Yeah, thank you, Irene. In your statement, you say that while you're answering the question to one of the panelists, you mentioned that the reason why you had to leave the ESCC is because the institution had lost so much confidence in the public eye, completely lost public confidence, to the extent that you just said the only way is to leave. And by doing so, hopefully, you might help to regain some confidence. You are at the leadership, you're actually leading that institution at that time. And the institution had lost integrity to the extent that people didn't have confidence in it. Now, you're applying to go to another constitutional commission, which is also severely suffering from depleted confidence by the public. How would you, given that history, how would you help the IEBC gain confidence, given your history of leaving an institution that you are leading? By the time you left it, it was virtually collapsing. Now, how will you help IEBC given that history?
Sorry about the cough. I'm allergic.
Oh, it's okay. Do you want to drink some water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. When I look at ESCC and our leaving the time, I would look at it. It was a different time. There were different issues. The perception was different, and we had a leadership that's different from the new leadership. If I join in, so meaning what I'm trying to say is the situation was different. The leadership was also different, and also the lessons learned. The period I left ESCC is like now 6 years. So the period, there are so many things that I learned through the course of the 6 years, the things that you reflect and see, and also you mature up as you go on. So coming now, grown up, I have learned lessons, and those lessons you don't learn by just waking up. There are a series of steps that come into your life, and to me, I believe the commission as constituted is different. We are coming in as there are already 3 in place, and the 4 is who are coming in is to ensure that we gel. and able to play the team player. And coming from the background of the ESCC is the experience of corporate governance, the experience of enforcing the code of conduct, and all that builds into the experience that I have now.
You know, the number one requirement to be a commissioner of the IEBC that the Kenyan public has charged this panel with is to get people of very high integrity and ethical standards. That's the number one requirement. Above all other things, you can be this, you can be that, you can be this. It doesn't matter. But the number one requirement, we have been told by all Kenyans who have talked to us, is that those commissioners must be above board. Integrity, integrity, integrity. Now, you had an opportunity when you were leaving ESCC. You had an opportunity to present yourself to a tribunal and go through and clear your name and clear your, your record through a public tribunal. But you opted to resign and avoid that route. How do Kenyans believe that you have learned anything or that you change or whatever? How can Kenyans gain confidence in you?
It's a difficult question to answer, knowing the facts that happened at ESCC. And to me, it's, I believe in fairness. I believe everybody is given a chance. And I think that's what I can say.
Thank you, Irene. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I'll now request Reverend Father Mutia to ask you his questions.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Irene, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
From the discourse, if I were to ask you a very general question, do you feel that your integrity has been put to question at one moment?
In the line of where I used to work, definitely, I presume the question is, have you been tested? Mm-hmm. Is that the question, from my understanding?
In a way, as your integrity has been tested.
Yeah, I think I would say one, under the private practice, I'll take that example. When we were doing the resettlement action plan for the SGR, Nairobi, Naivasha, of course, you get colleagues who have settled in those areas and who would want you to inflate. Yes, you face it, but it's a moral question that one takes, and we are working with staff, and there's a law that we have to follow. So yes, I have been tested.
Sorry for that. Allow me to refer to the matter that my colleagues alluded to earlier. The issue that came to Parliament. At some point, you were expected to investigate an institution on matters corruption, but you went ahead and bought property from the same institution. How do you explain that?
I remember. Thank you, Reverend Father. That issue was the motive, if you allow me to say, but briefly. I was in charge of the Audit and Investigation Committee, and it came to the committee as a member, and I had to flag it to the chairman. And the chairman, we had a meeting, a full board meeting, because we were three, requested to further investigate the matter. And the matter, of course, now coming back to the committee, I now tasked the investigator to go further and investigate the matter. So, Madam Chair, I don't feel I would want to go into details in this aspect. But the overall of that is that yes, we flagged it out. Yes, we investigated. Yes, we took it to Parliament, and it was very emotive. And those are some of the things that brought conflict between the Secretariat and us, because we took, as a commission, we took the avenue of investigating, and the Secretariat felt that we should not.
Thank you. I think, Chair, I have exhausted.
Thank you, Reverend Father. Allow me, Irene, to just correct you on the question asked by Madam Mayor on the two constitutional commissions that collaborate with IEBC. You did mention the Commission for University Education. Indeed, that's an important partner, but it's not a constitutional commission. Yeah, but of course, EACC, where you normally sit, or Kenya National Human Rights Commission, those would be useful partners. Let me ask you a general knowledge question. If you are appointed as IEBC commissioner, you'll be involved in managing the elections for those who will sit in the two houses of Parliament. So my question is, what is the composition of the Senate?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Senate is comprised of 47 senators and 16 slots nominated. Yeah, I think so.
Well done so far. And then there are two senators, one man, one woman, representing PWDs, and another two, one man, one woman representing youth.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. So we've come to the end of your oral interview. I invite you, Irene, to make any remarks you might have to the panel at this time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My last comment would be I'm grateful that I was shortlisted. And you can see the resilience even after that phase of ESSC. I've grown up, I'm experienced, and I'm a proud Kenyan. I want to participate in conducting. My skills can help in terms of conducting credible elections.